So last weekend I was watching WordNerds, minding my own business, and came to the startling conclusion that Emma and I are drastically different people. Last weekend for her Blogger's Choice video, Emma went through the Harry Potter series and ranked her favorites, 1 through 7. Obviously, the big disclaimer here for both of us is that we love all of these books obsessively, and Emma, for me, is the queen of Harry Potter obsession. So I was a little surprised when her top 3 books were my bottom 3 books. So I figured my video today would be a pretty good opportunity to offer a rebuttal, because I too grew up on the Harry Potter books. I love this series more than anything. I own 2 versions. This one I bought late last year. It's the American versions with Hogwarts on the spine there, and then I have the British versions of the books that were released here in Canada that I bought as they came out, starting with book 3, and those ones have been read beyond anything. They're currently sitting on my boyfriend's bookshelves because I'm forcing him to read the whole series, so I would say I have an opinion to offer on this particular topic. Now, when Emma did her list, she worked from her favorite book and went down the list. I'm going to go in the opposite direction for dramatic effect, or just to mix it up, or something. Now again, this first one isn't my least favorite book in the series, it's just the one I obsess about the least, because I do love all of these books, and this series will always have a massive place in my heart. Every single one of these books is all but perfect as far as I'm concerned. So number 7 on my list is number 6 in the series, obviously Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I can't even tell you why this is the one I come back to the least. For a lot of the book, it felt like not that much really happened. Obviously, the ending was crazy. And like Emma said, it does show you just how much J.K. Rowling obsessed about planning this series and how well she pulled it off. But this is the one that was just a little bit depressing. I didn't feel that rah, this is all amazing moment. It was just kind of, which is a good lead up to the series finale, but it's going to be number 7 for me. My next pick is one I know a lot of people are going to disagree with, because Emma is not the only one who puts Prisoner of Azkaban as her number 1 choice for the Harry Potter series. I don't know why, I don't know, this felt like the series slowed down quite a bit. I didn't like that there was no Voldemort, and it didn't really progress in terms of the entire series arc, and I just felt like I was seeing less of what was going on instead of the world getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Obviously, I agree with everything Emma said. This book is still amazing. It's my number 6. Number 5 on my list is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I loved this book. I thought the Horcruxes were so well pulled off. It just bugs me that they weren't at Hogwarts. It felt like the series didn't have the right balance, because there were 7 years for 7 years at Hogwarts, except this one was just kind of randomly tacked on at the end, and their education was never really finished, and Hogwarts was kind of a character for me. Obviously, we do still get to see Hogwarts in this book, but that was a big part of what was missing. Plus, we didn't get to see all of our favorite characters as much as usual, and it was a pretty big departure from the rest of the series. I still loved it. I'm still ranking at number 5. It's definitely not at the bottom of the list. It was really cool, a great finale, but it also broke my heart, so it's going to have to stay at number 5. So my list is going to jump from the end of the series right to the beginning for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, not the Sorcerer's Stone. That is wrong. But this is the introduction to the series. It was a great introduction. It got me so obsessed right away. It introduced the world perfectly. It offered the least in terms of story and world building and characters, and I wish it was bigger. I wish they were all bigger. So this is going to stay at number 4. Now we're into my top 3. My next pick is the one that got me really obsessed with this series. This is where I totally fell in love when I had my initial box set, and that is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I just loved this book so much when I was younger. I still love it now. I think Gilderoy Lockhart is just such a fantastically written character. The secret chamber under the school was such a cool storyline, incorporating Ginny Weasley. I thought this was really well done and offered just a great bam of imagination, and this is where the series really took off for me. I love this book till forever. After my earlier comments, it should surprise no one that 2 of my favorite books are 2 of the biggest in the series. At number 2 for me is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This book was just so well done. I loved every single element, from the Quidditch World Cup to the tournament to seeing the wizarding world on a grander scale to, of course, the ending, which did so much for the overall series arc. There was just so much going on in this book. We learned a lot about the characters, their relationships developed. This book kept me turning pages again and again, obsessively all through the night. I'm pretty sure I finished it in one day. And I've since reread this one, I think probably the most, because this is the first one I read right when it came out, and then reread every time as a new book came out. So, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, guys, it is always worth a reread. Number 2. Now, if you thought my ranking for Prisoner of Azkaban was controversial, wait for my top pick, which I'm sure you figured out due to process of elimination. But I know a lot of people rank this book, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, at the bottom of their list, but it will always be at the top of mine. I think. Who knows? I'm going to read these books till I'm 80, so I may change my mind eventually. But ever since it came out, this has been the one I have loved the most. I know a lot of people hate how whiny Harry Potter is in this book, but I think because of the length of the series, it really served the overall character arc to have him have this darker period. And a lot of these same people who complain about whiny Harry complain about how unrealistically a lot of characters respond to the situations they're in, which I think his phase kind of made sense with everything that was going on and how much he had to deal with, so that does not bug me at all. My second reason for why I think this book was the best written is because it had a villain that really made you rage. I'm not talking Voldemort, but of course Professor Umbridge, because has anyone ever made you feel that much at everything in a book? I'm sure there are other characters up there, but this is the one that I always use as an example of a character that made you feel something. She was perfectly written. She's just beyond anything I've read before or since, and she really helped make this book and helped make it a reading experience that you'd remember, which says so much. I really think Rowling was on her game when she wrote this book. I'm trying to keep this video short-ish, and I've already run over, so I'll only give you one more reason, and that is the secret societies. The Order of the Phoenix was awesome, and Dumbledore's army was amazing. Everyone learning magic together while all of the bad guys are lurking around the corridors. It was just so awesome. I learned so much about so many great characters and loved every single scene that Dumbledore's army was in. So that's it. That's my list, and now I really need to reread this series, although it's probably going to wait until 2016 because I try to put it off for as long as I can each time so that I can kind of re-experience the series every time I read them, which I can't do if I read them too close together, but I can't wait to jump back into these books. I miss Hogwarts. Now, as of when I'm filming this, I'm not actually sure if we're doing our live chat tomorrow. We definitely got some stuff coming up, so I'm going to try to hear back from everybody and then post something on Sunday either way, whether or not we do it, letting you know what's going on. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend and happy reading.